Okay, thank you, Miss Dania. Okay, so first one, or the first concept is the complex numbers in chapter 10. The second concept, it's about triangles. Chapter number 3 is about circles. Chapter number 4, it is about 3D shapes. And chapter number 5, it is about the trigonometry. And inshallah ta'ala, we're gonna finish all of these concepts. And after that, what you're gonna do, you're gonna do a practice test, and you will see the discussion about the practice test that you're gonna do. I'll try my best so we can do 10 practice tests, okay, together, and I will give it to you extra 20 by yourself, like 10 together and then 20 by yourself. You can have like a 30. I don't know how many of you will be gonna join the October test. I don't know how many of you, but inshallah, like during this week, I'll try my best during this week. I'm gonna finish this chapter 10, and then you still have like somehow 2 weeks. In this 2 weeks, like 14 days, 14 days. So the average that you have to do is you have to do 2 full tests in this 14 days. So basically 14 times 2, it's 28. So you're gonna go with the October test. With how many tests you will be able to do it? You will be able to do 28 tests every day, practice test. Okay. So inshallah, you're gonna be able to finish and go and do the best. We'll start right now with the first concept, which is complex numbers. The complex numbers is one of the easiest concepts. All right, the complex numbers is one of the easiest. Complex. It's actually, once they said that, for example, what is the root of 4? Who knows what is the root of 4? Square root of 4.
2.
What is the answer of square root of 4? It's a 2. Is it? Or it's not?
Yes.
It is a 2, is it? Okay, so the complex numbers that said that what if I have a negative inside the root? What if there is a negative like this negative 16 inside the root? What should I do right now? Okay, so what should you do right now with the square root of negative 16? They assume that with the complex numbers, all right, the complex numbers, they assume this, which is once you have a negative 1 inside the root, you put it as an I, right? You put it as an I. Well, what is this I? This I represents the complex numbers, all right? Any problem? So now I can say this, the square root of 16, I can write it as this. And instead of saying negative 16, I can say it's negative 1 times 16. And I'm going to distribute the root of, I'm going to say root of negative 1 and root of 16. What is the root of negative 1? We know it as an I. So I'm going to put, instead of root of negative 1 as an I, what is the root of 16? It's a 4. Basically, this is what we call the 4i. All right. We have this is as we call the complex numbers, or basically the I, it's what we call imaginary numbers. All right. Imaginary
Only
numbers.
the root of
All right.
minus 1 is an imaginary number.
What are you saying? Say again, please.
Only the root of 1 is an imaginary number.
Only the root of negative, mister. It's not about negative 1. The root of negatives. Yes. The root of negatives, all right? So for example, when I'm going to give it to you this, all right? What is the answer of square root of 25? This is imaginary? No, this is not. Why? Because this is inside the square root. Inside here, you see that it's a positive. But what if you have a square root of negative 25, sir? This is when you say that this is imaginary numbers. Why? Because there is a negative inside the root. So what you say, root of negative 1 times root of 25. So what is the root of negative 1? It's an I. What is the root of 25? It's a 5. So basically the answer is going to be 5i. Exactly. The root of negative. I can have like a faster, easier thing to say, which is once you see a negative inside, delete this negative. All right, delete this negative inside and do it as I as outside. Okay, one more time. Once you see a negative inside, okay, as an example, let's say that I have a square root of -9. All right, what I'm gonna do, because there is a negative inside, I'm going to put it as an I outside, and I'm going to ask myself, what is the root of 9? The root of 9, it's a 3. So basically, the answer, it's a 3i. The answer is what? Is a 3i. Until now. Is there any problem, guys? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, nice. So I have this is as a 3i, all right? This is as a 3i. That's my answer right now. Why settings? Okay. All right. Listen carefully. Now the concept is how you multiply, you add, you divide, you do everything with what? With the complex numbers. All right. So how you add or subtract? Right? How you add or subtract complex? All right. How can I add or subtract a complex? As an example, let's say that I have a 3 plus 4i. I'm going to add it with a 2 minus 3i. As an example, now I'm adding 2 complex numbers. What is the answer? Give me a minute.
5 plus I.
All right, I'm sorry for this. Okay, so again, 3 plus 4i plus 2 minus 3i. What he said, Muhammad?
5 plus I.
Exactly, just add here, just easy to say. I'm looking for this. I'm adding the number with the number, okay, which is 3 plus 2, it's going to be a 5. And the 4i minus 3i, I'm going to add them together. Deal with them as an x, deal with them as a y, deal with them as any variable you want, all right? So it's going to be plus I. So 5 plus I, this is how you have the answer, right? This is the answer. اوكي ايش بك يا جنى؟ ليش ماسكه راسك؟ راسك ابو جعل؟ يعطيك العافيه. Okay, so guys, I have just some important information I have to give it to you. What is the difference between saying complex numbers and imaginary numbers? Who knows what is the difference between this and that?
Complex numbers include real numbers and imaginary numbers are type of numbers.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Actually, the imaginary numbers, all right, the imaginary numbers here, it's all the numbers with the I, okay? All the numbers with an I. For example, now when I'm saying that I have a 3i, all right, or let's try it here. Now I'm just going to talk about the difference, all right? Imaginary numbers, I have to talk about the difference before adding and subtracting, but I just remembered. The imaginary numbers are numbers like with an I, anything like 3i, 5i, 17i, all right? Anything with an I is what we call the imaginary numbers, okay? But what is the concept of saying complex? Complex, it is basically, it's a mix. It is once you have a real number, you add it with the imaginary numbers. That's what we called it. We call it the complex number, right? Basically, the complex numbers, it consists of a real number, a real part. So for example, if you have a real plus imaginary, this is what we called it. We called it a complex number, right? And the complex number, by the way, has a form. The form of a complex is going to be A plus BI. Okay? Look, A plus BI. The A, it stands for the real part, and the B, it stands for the coefficient of the I. All right? Most of the questions, they're going to ask you about A and B. Find the A, find the B, all right? Okay, guys. طيب, Yahya, Osama, Samir, and Naya, why you are not opening our camera?
I'm not home, mister.
You're not home, Mr. طيب, hey, Naya, not home. Utana, she said that you have a lot of problems in the camera. Mr. Samer, you've been like a while you didn't attend with us, صح?
Yes, Mr. I was traveling to see and the internet was bad.
You're welcome back يعني بصراحة I even forget that I have you in my course. I thought that you were texting me بس طلعتي لا. Now I'm waiting your message يعني. I'm fasting I have to break my fast. طيب اوكي يحيى بس بشرط واحد اللي هو انه تدعي لي. اوكي بس اذا دعيت لي معلش. He's fasting يعني. طيب okay, so we have a complex numbers. Again, the complex numbers is an a plus bi. A, it stands for the real part, and the b, it stands for the complex part. Okay, and this is it. All right. Now, again, let's talk about how you multiply. How you multiply complex. All right. How can I multiply complexes? Like, let's say that I have a 3 plus 2i. That's a complex number multiplied by another one, 1 plus I. All right. Who knows the answer? Take a minute to do the answer here. Inshallah. Okay, try to do this question. Give it a minute. Try your chances right now. Okay, nice. 5. تسليم ايش؟ ايش؟
Nothing. This is just because of the Arabic on accent.
Okay. Usama, is it that the final answer? Tasneem, no, it's not. Are you sure? MashaAllah, I have like, I don't know, most of you have a different answers. And I guess the only one now, Osama and Jannah, the last answers are correct. But most of you have incorrect answers. Should I show you how you do this question? Let me try to show you. Listen, guys. What I have right now is I do this. I have this. First of all, I'm gonna take the 3. Stay with me for a minute. I'm gonna take a 3. I'm gonna multiply it with the 1. Okay, so it's 3 times 1. It's a 3. 3 times I. It's a 3i. Listen carefully right now. Okay, listen carefully. 2i multiplied by 1. What is the answer? 2i multiplied by 1. It's a 2i. Now that's there is the problem, all right? Here is the problem. 2i multiplied by I. What is it? It's gonna be 2i squared. And I did not tell you this information. This information you have to have it from here. All right. Listen. It's once you have a root of -1 as an I. Okay? So how you will deal with the I square then? The I square is somehow root of -1 times root of -1, which is basically the I square will be a -1. All right. I square will be a -1. So this is how you deal with it. Once you see any I square, you put it as a -1. It means this. Listen, the I square here, I'm not going to keep it as an I square at all. You don't keep it as an I square. Basically, listen, I'm gonna say 3 plus 3i plus 2i. That's basically it's a 5i, and the I square, okay, plus 2i squared, I'm going to change the I squared as a -1. So basically, you have a 3 plus 5i. 2 times -1, it's a -2. 3 minus 2, that's basically 1 plus 5i. Jana and Usama, when you are writing your answers, you have to start with the real, then the complex. That's a mistake to say 5i plus 1. All right? Somehow it is not a mistake, but we don't like to see, we don't like to start with the imaginary first and the complex and the real second. Okay? Always start with the real and then end it with the imaginary. Okay?
Okay, Mr.
Okay, so
like -1 power 2, why isn't it 1?
the I power 2,
Yes.
it's a -1, not 1. This is something you have to save. All right, save it, memorize it.
Okay.
Okay, one more time. One more time. Let's say that I have this. Okay, let's say I have a -2 plus 4i. I'm gonna multiply it by -3 plus 7i. All right, I'm gonna do it with you. All right, let's try to do it with you. Now I'm gonna take the -2. I'm gonna multiply it by -3. What is the answer? It's positive 6. -2 times 7i. That is gonna be -14i. And now I'm going to take what? I'm going to take the 4i. I'm going to multiply it by -3. That is going to be -12i, isn't it? And now listen carefully for this. Positive times positive, it's positive. 4 times 7, it's 28. I times I, it's an I squared. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to say this 6. Now -14 minus 12, that's going to be -26i plus 28. I told you this, the I square, don't keep it as an I square, all right? Don't keep it as an I square, put it as a -1. And now what you have a 6 minus 26i minus 28. 6 minus 28, that's going to be -22 minus 26i. Any problem? If there is no problem, try to do this for me. Okay, try to do this for me. I'm gonna say I have a 2 minus 3i multiplied by 5 plus, or not plus, minus 2i. Show me, please. Okay, Tasneem, Naya, Jannah, Muhammad, Radwa, all of you correct. That's so nice. Amir, okay. So you got the idea, I wish. That's so good. Okay, so most of you got the answer as a 4 minus 19i. 4 or minus 4? One of you said -4. Let's check. 2 times 5, it's a 10. 2 times 2i, it is going to be -4i. 3i minus 3i times 5, it is going to be -15i. And now there is the problem. -3i times -2i. First of all, negative times negative, it's positive. 3 times 2 is going to be 6. I times I, it is going to be I squared. I have a 10 minus 19i. All right, so the I squared is basically a -1. So plus 6 times -1. So 10 minus 19i minus 6. So 10 minus 6 is going to be 4 minus 19i. There is something I want to share with you, which is if you have a calculator, all right? If you have a calculator, I guess most of you have a calculator. You can do this, all right? But before I start, you have to see something here. In your calculator, ya Jama'ah, this bottom, all right, this one, I don't know if you can see this one. Here in my calculator, the bottom called ENG. Do you see it? The concept called ENG. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that concept called ENG?
Yes.
Right. This ENG, right? If you press it right now, it's gonna not working. You see, I'm pressing the ENG now, and it's not writing anything. Okay, do you know why?
You have to
Because
put a
it's not
number.
on complex mode.
Exactly, it's not on the complex mode. So what I'm gonna press the mode, and I will press number 2, which is the complex mode. All right. Now, after you press on complex mode, you see that there is something called the complex. I don't know if you see on the screen. There is a complex. Okay. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write my question, exact same question I have, which is I'm gonna open a bracket, 2 minus 3. Look, the I is gonna be the ENG. Now when on ENG, it's gonna give it to you the I. Close the bracket, again, open the bracket, 5 minus 2i. Close the bracket, and now check you have exact same, and press on equal, and this is when you give it to you the answer, 4 minus 19i.
Does it work for all calculators?
It should be working for all calculators, the one with this concept, all right? The one with this.
Can you see what's the problem with mine?
Show me.
2. Then there's nothing here.
Press menu and tell me what the options you can read. Press menu.
أعداد مركبة، عمليات حسابية.
أعداد مركبة.
Yeah, 2.
Okay, press 2. And now press on the ENG, the I. Do you have an I working?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, works. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Okay, now let's move on. All right, now I'm going to talk about something also it's important, okay? But I don't know, they stopped asking these questions like a long time ago, but I have to teach you this. The complex numbers, they stopped asking the questions with the complex numbers. It's been like 3 years, they didn't ask any question about the complex. But yani,
No, actually, in this exam, I got one question about the complex numbers.
in this exam. All right, now what I'm going to ask, what was the question, Naya? Remember?
It was minus.
That's minus, صح? Normal minus.
Yeah.
For help. Now I'm going to talk about something called the powers, all right? Powers of I. Yani, what do I mean by powers of I? I don't know if you know, can you answer this question, I power 0, what is the answer of I power 0? Who knows?
1.
I power 0?
1.
It's 1. We agreed this, once you have a power 0, it's the answer is 1. Always the answer is 1, yeah? So we agreed on that. Once you have any power 0, it's going to be a 1. Right, now, what? Muhammad. Okay, so if I have an I power 1, what is the answer? The answer is going to be still I. If I have an I power 2, what is the answer? I power 2, it's a -1. Okay, all right, now let's try to work out the I power 3. I power 3, I can say it is going to be I power 2 multiplied by I power 1. Yes or not? Because we know the formula, we know that there is a rule says that if you have an I power 2 and I power 1, once you have a same base and different powers, you can add the powers, say 2 plus 1, which is a 3. Yes or no? We do have this formula. And now the I bar 2, we already know it as a -1. So -1 multiplied by I, the answer is going to be -I. Basically, I'm going to say I bar 3, it is equals to what? To -I. All right? I just proved it to you why it's a -I. Okay, now let's try to work out, same. Let's try to work out I bar 4. I bar 4 with the same concept. Can I say that I bar 4 is going to be I bar 2 multiplied by I bar 2? Can I say with the same concept, all right? All right, I bar 2, I know it, and you know it as a -1. Times I bar 2, I know it, and you know it as the -1. So -1 multiplied by -1, it's a +1. I just proved to you that I bar 4 is equals to what? Equals to +1. So I'm going to write here I4 equals to +1. Okay, let's try to prove to you I bar 5. I bar 5. Okay, who knows what is I bar 5?
-I -1.
It's no, not -I. It's an I, exactly. Look, I'm going to prove it to you. I bar 5. It is going to be I bar 4 multiplied by I bar 1. Yes or not? And I just proved it to you that I bar 4 is equals to 1 times I. So 1 times I, it's an I. So basically, I bar 5, it's what? It's an I. All right, now, who knows what is I bar 6? It's going to be I bar what times I bar what? What is 6?
I bar 3 times I bar 2.
I bar 3 times 2?
I bar 2.
No. Radwa, the concept is you add the bars to get the 6. If you add the 3 plus 5 plus 2 is a 5, so that's a mistake. So I have to choose different. What numbers?
5 and 1.
5 and 1. I can use 5 and 1. I can use 4 and 2. You can go with any numbers. You can go with 4 and 2. I will go with 4 and 2. That's I like more. Okay. I bar 4 is, I prove it. I bar 4 as a 1. I bar 2 is -1. So 1 times -1. What is the answer? It's a -1. So this is I bar 6 is equals to -1. Guys, I don't know if you saw this, but I see something called pattern. Yani, I bar 0 it's a 1, I bar 1 it's an I bar 2 it's a -1, I bar 3 it's a I bar 4 it's a 1, same. I bar 1 with I bar 5 it's an I, and that's a -1. What is the next gonna be?
-I.
What is that? -I, right? So every 4 I'm gonna have the same answer. So I guess using this pattern, I bar 8 is gonna be equals 1. I bar 9 is going to equals not I bar 10 is going to equals to -1. I bar 11 is going to equals to -I. This is what we call the pattern. All right. So every four, I bar 0, bar 1, bar 2, bar 3. These are the generators. These are the original values. So 0, bar 1, bar 2, bar 3. 1, I, -1, -I. And any other number, it is going to be one of them. Have to be one of them. Okay. All right. So now, what if he asked us to find what if he said, let's try to find I power 213. What should I do? I'm going to teach you how you would do it. All right. Look, listen carefully. How many ordinal values you have? You have a 0 or a 1 or a 2 or a 3. All right. So these are the ordinal values. Any other number I can create. All right. I can't keep going on the same with the same and the same. And for example, now what is the power? You have 11. Can you say this? It's going to be I bar 12, I bar 13, I bar 14, I bar 15. You can go and keep counting until you have 213. For sure, you're not going to do that. For sure, you're not going to do that. 213. What is going to be 213? The concept of 213 is going to be this. First of all, take this number and divide it by 4. Who knows why 4? Why I have to divide by 4?
Because it's a pattern.
Because the pattern I have is a 4. We have a different explanation because the zeros and the ones and the twos and the three, like 0, 1, 2, 3, are the remainings of 4. You know, if you are too deep in math. But now I can give it to you because I can say because the pattern is a 4, and this is it. Okay, it's going to be satisfied for you. All right, now 21 over 4. How many we have? The answer is 5. 5 times 4 is going to be 20. You subtract, you get a 1, and you will take the 3 again. 13. How many 4s with the 13? How many? 3. 3 times 4, it's going to be 12, is it? Now, what is the answer? What is the remainder is going to be? The remainder is going to be 1. So you're going to say this. You take I power 213, you will say it is going to be exactly the same as saying I power 1, which is, you know it as an I. So your answer is an I. So I saw this question in SAT. They will give it to you I power something. They will give it to you I power 12. Or they will give it to you I power 2000. All right? And then the 4 options is going to be 1 or I or -1 or -I. And there is no calculator for sure. You know, if there is a calculator, it's so easy. You just do this. If there is a calculator, you do I power, okay, sorry, I power 213. You press equal, give it to the answer. If it's with a calculator, tamam? But the question is not calculated. You cannot use a calculator. So what should you do? You take the power, whatever power you will give it to you. For example, if I'm going to say I power 2022, now, or year, right? 2022. What you will do, you take 2022, you divide it by 4, and you get the answer, and then you find what is your remainder. Yani, I would say it's a 5. 5 times 4 is going to be 20. You subtract, you get a 0, 0. You take the 2. You say, how many 4s with this 2? There is no. So you say a 0. You take another 2. So 22, how many 4s with this 22? I'm going to say, again, it's a 5. 5 times 2. 5 times 4 is a 20. You subtract, you get the 2. Now, what is your remainder? It's a 2. So basically, you say the I power 2022 is going to be exactly the same as saying I power 2, which is I know it and you know it as a -1. So basically, you have to memorize somehow these, all right? You have to memorize these. Save them, memorize them, or basically understand them because there is nothing, nothing to memorize, by the way, okay? So save these and then use them for the rest. Any problem? One more idea about the complex and we finish the concept. One more idea about the complex and with the concept is over. All right, the last idea is dividing complex, which is the most complicated one, right?
Can you go back a little bit? Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Now, the last concept I will talk about the complex numbers is dividing complex. Dividing complex numbers. I kept it to the last because basically this is the most important one. Before I start with this dividing complex numbers, you have to understand, remember the idea. It's an a squared minus b squared. Who remembered what was the formula for this? A squared minus b squared. What is it?
A plus B times A minus B.
A plus B multiplied by A minus B.
Exactly. A plus B multiplied by A minus B. And basically, I can say this. Once I see that there is a 3 plus square root of 2 and a 3 minus square root of 2, right? Once you have this, 3 plus square root of 2, 3 minus square root of 2, what you would do, this is what he will do. You use the formula. This is basically A plus B. And this is basically A minus B. And this is when you say it is going to be A squared minus B squared. Now, I can apply the formula, say, and A squared minus B squared, I can delete the A and put instead of A by what? Instead of A by 3. And instead of B by what? By square root of 2. Yeah? So you say 3 squared, it's a 9. Square root of 2, you cancel the square with the square root of 2, say it's a 2. So the final answer is going to be lovely 7. Okay. Do you remember this formula? All right, one more. Let's say I have 5 minus I, 5 plus I. What should I do? Again, I'm going to use the same formula right now. Listen to me carefully. The 5 will stand for A. The I will stand for B, because here I have an A minus B, here I have an A plus B. So basically, I'm going to use the formula. What is the formula? It says A squared minus B squared. Yeah? A squared minus B squared. The idea of having A, what is A right now? I see A as a 5. What is the B I have? It's an I. So 5 squared, that's a 25. Minus I squared. Wait a minute. I squared is, I know it and you know it.
-1.
-1.
-1. So 25 minus -1 is going to be 25 plus 1. Yeah, the idea is at the end is 26. Again, I didn't start with dividing. I'm just revising a rule, all right? I'm revising a rule, which is A squared minus B squared. Any problem? Any problem? No, we don't have a problem. That's so nice. Just give me a minute. Now, let's say that I have a 3 plus 2i. I want it to be divided by 2 plus I, as an example. How should I divide it? If I have a calculator, use a calculator. Allahu Barak, we finished. If you have a calculator. If you don't have a calculator, I have to calculate by my hands. Most likely, 99% of the questions is going to be with no calculator. One more time. If I have a calculator, I'm going to use a calculator. Khalas. Shukran. You press on the calculator, get the answer. Sallallahu barak. If you don't have a calculator, which is mostly is going to be like with no calculator, this is what should we do? What should I do right now? I'm going to do this. First of all, I'm looking for denominator, and I'm going to multiply by something called the conjugate of the denominator. بالعربي هو المرافق. The conjugate هو المرافق. All right? So look, the denominator, I'm looking for this rule, A minus B, A plus B. One of them, I have it, and there is one is missing. Yani, 2 plus I, it means that I have an A plus B. All right? What is missing? If I have this, what is missing? This is missing, yeah? The A minus B is missing. So I'm going to multiply up and down by 2 minus I. Why? Why I'm doing this? I'm doing this because I want the denominator will be in the form A plus B, A minus B. All right? So don't only multiply denominator, you have to multiply up and down, because basically this is a fraction and you cannot do any changes with the fraction until you multiply up and down. You can do that. Until now, any problem? في أيتها مشاكل? We use it for the root 2. بالضبط يا تسنيم. برافو عليك. All right. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this. The denominator is going to be A plus B, A minus B. I'm going to apply my lovely formula, which is A squared minus B squared. I'm not going to touch the numerator for now. I will do it later. What is A? The A is obviously 2. You delete the A, you put it as a 2. What is B? B, obviously, it's an I. I'm going to put instead of B by what? Instead of B by I. So you just do I. Now, the denominator will be 2 squared, it's 4, minus. Type, who knows I squared? I know, and you know it is -1. So basically, minus 1, it's going to be 4 plus 1, which is 5. Okay, now let's deal with the numerator. خلاص, numerator is something easy to deal with. 3 times 2 هتكون 6. 3 times minus I هتكون minus 3i. And 2i times 2, it's going to be 4i. And 2i times minus I هتكون minus, first of all, 2i squared. حلوين؟ حلوين. طيب.
Can you repeat what you
طالما
did
حلوين.
in the orange and red?
Where orange and red.
The one 6 minus 3i.
6 طلع 3 times 2. 3 times 2. 6.
6.
3 times I. 3 times minus I. Minus 3i. I multiply. I distribute the 3 for the both. And I'm going to distribute the same. I'm going to distribute the 2i for the both. 2i times 2 is 4i. 2i times minus I. Here it's a positive. Positive times negative, it's a negative. 2 times nothing, it's a 2. I times I, it's an I square. وين مشاكل? Okay. Now, 6, I'm going to keep the 6. I'm not going to touch it. Minus 3i plus 4i should answer.
I.
I. Just an I. Okay. And I have an I square, all right? The I square, what is it? The I square, ya Jama'ah? It's a -1 again and again, all right? So for the last time, I'm going to say it's going to be plus 6 plus I, okay? 6 plus I plus 2. طيب 6 plus 2 here هتكون 8, صح? 8 plus I over 5. And for the last idea, I'm going to say it is going to be 8 over 5 plus I over 5. أو حتى بحسن بعملها عشان نحن نعمل الموضوع formal, okay? It's going to be 1 over 5 I. This one and this one are the same. Most of the questions, they're going to be asking either for A, this is A plus BI, صح? Either for A or either for B. Or حتى maybe they will ask for the addition for them. A plus B, A minus B. I don't care. One more time. One more time. Yeah, Jama'ah. The main question was this. Right? This was the main question. What we did this. We took up and down, we multiplied by 2 minus I. ليش? عشان because we have an A plus I and we wanted A minus I. All right? This is first. Second of all, we deal with the denominator as a formula. We did it, we apply it, we multiplied, we get all the answers till 5. I wish that there is no problem. Then I deal with the numerator, I multiplied, I simplified, and then I get the answer. Yes. I'm going to give it to an example now, and this is your turn to find it out. Now, try to find.
Why did you multiply by 2 minus I from the beginning?
Why? طب ليش لا? Why not?
The other form بس يعني ليه؟
طب ليه؟ ليش لا؟
ليش إيه؟
لأنه بدنا نطلع الانسر. Okay, listen. The concept right now is I want to cancel. I want to delete the I from denominator by any way. I don't know what. I'm gonna deal with it like that. Yani, I don't like to see I in denominator. I want to cancel the I from denominator. There is no other way, by the way. Hasran, you have to do this. Okay. Yani, basically, he's gonna give it to you the question like that, right? And he's gonna say, try to write the answer, simplify and write the answer as an A plus BI. As you can see, when he's asking for I, but the I is in numerator up, mid down. Now I have a problem. I saw that there is a problem. The problem here, hey, I. Okay, the 2 is not a problem, but the I down, it's the problem. If I have an I down as a problem, how can I solve it? How can I cancel this problem? There is no other way. No, you take the 2 plus I, you have an A, this is 2, you consider 2 as an A, and I as a B, all right? You consider this one as an A plus B, you multiply by A minus B. If A minus B, if you have a 2 plus I, you multiply by 2 minus I. Up and down, and you keep working.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
All right, now everyone, try to solve this lovely, easy example. Same concept, okay, same concept, and try to show me, take a picture and tell it to me on WhatsApp, please, everyone. I'm gonna do right now like that. 3, I don't know why I'm stuck with 3 today, 3s and 2s. 3 plus I divided by 5 minus 2I. You'll have fun. Is it the same? I guess it's the same. Yeah. Have fun with this. Oh. اوكي يا رضوى. Naya, 26 or 29?
$29.
No, 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, Radwa, nice. I forget to separate them. No problem, but you have to questions normally, but now it's good. Tasneem, you're good. Okay. أسامة. شو هيدا يا أسامة؟ No. Oops, فعلا oops. Nice, Muhammad. Good. Sana. Nice. Okay, so this is it. All right. This is it. We finished. لا يا سامر. No. Show me why. Show me why you have this answer. Mistake. غلط. We finished the idea of complex. Okay. There is in the book. If you open the book. I don't know. I guess there is. We don't have a lot with the idea. Let's see. I don't know if you have, if you open the book, but chapter 10. The first one is all about triangle. There is a trigonometry, and that's an imaginary numbers. Okay, so if you have the PDFs, it's page 51. Basically, we have this only this. This is it. Any 4 questions, we solve them, and this is it. Fabiola, let's have fun with the question number 1. Who's gonna solve it the fastest? And I have an answer from Muhammad. Nice. Yeah, correct. Radwa, bye. Perfect. Naya, good. Yalla, the rest. Sana, nice. I guess يحيى left يعني. أذن عندكم المغرب؟
Yes.
صح. Okay, Samer, where is your answer يا سامر? Tasneem, where is your answer? Tasneem, you don't have to solve it. You said it, Samer? When? صح, Samer, yeah, I saw it. So yeah, the answer is the answer is A, obviously A. Okay, I don't have to explain it. Question 2. Yalla, who's gonna be solve it the fastest? Easy, so easy. 6 answers. Incorrect. Muhammad, Jana, Naya, Radwa, Sana, correct. Incorrect يا أسامة. We can't keep the I square as I square. Okay, you have to simplify it. Again, should I solve it? It's easy to say B, is it? It's easy to say B. Again, I have to simplify. First of all, I have the I square and the I square as a -1, so it's going to be -6. -6 minus 7i plus 3 plus 6i. هنجمع this -6 مع plus 3 minus 3. -7 plus 6 is going to be -i, and the answer is B. Okay, question 2. No calculator, okay? You cannot use a calculator. تسنيم ليش استغرب كل هذا شو؟
I didn't really get it. Can you repeat?
Repeat?
Yeah. Just
I square شو I square?
-1.
Okay, 6 times -1.
-6.
طيب -6 minus 7i plus 3 plus 6i. تمام؟ Add numbers يا تسنيم. -6 plus 3 minus 3 minus 7 plus 6.
-5.
يلا, have fun with the question 3. It's easy concept, Muhammad, yeah?
Yes.
Am I correct? Nice. Samir, good. Radwa, good. Sana, nice. Yeah, come on. Yeah, I don't have to wait for this. The answer is obviously here. What you would do, you take the 17, you multiply by 3. The 17, you multiply by 5. You take the 7, you multiply by 3. You take the 7, multiply by 5i, and the answer is going to be D. Okay, I don't have to solve it. Easy. Okay, easy concept. Last question on the concept here. The last one is question 4. Right now, same as I explained. Right, we're looking for. I have 2 minus I over 2 plus I. We're looking for a value of A. Try to solve it as we did in our examples. All right. You try to find A plus PI and just give me the A value. We'll have fun. And our first answer and second answer, it's from Radwa and Muhammad. Nice. Tasneem, كمان, asma what's up? Oh, should answer. I need answer. I need number. Nice. Samer could. تسنيم يعني شو الانسر بالاخير؟ Yeah, it's a good job, correct. But I need the answer. I need number. شو number at the end? So Sana, I guess you take the first one as the answer, صح? لا يا تسنيم. It's 3 over 5. 3 over 5, not 3. So we have a 2 minus I over 2 plus I. I'm going to take it and I'm going to multiply, all right? I'm going to multiply the numerator and denominator by 2 minus I, all right? I'm going to take 2 minus I down, 2 minus I up. So it's going to be A squared minus B squared down. A squared, A is the 2, and B is the I. And the denominator is going to be 2 squared, it's a 4, I squared, it's a minus 1, and there is a minus, راح تكون plus 1. So basically, the denominator is going to be 5. And now let's talk about the numerator. 2 times 2 is going to be 4. 2 times minus I, it's minus 2I. I times 2, it's a minus 2I. Minus times negative, it's positive. I times I, it's an I square. Minus 2I حتكون minus 4I. I square حتكون minus 1. 4 minus 1 حتكون 3. So basically, the final answer is going to be 3 minus 4I over 5. And if I want to write it as a fractions, it's going to be 3 over 5 minus 4 over 5I. If I'm going to do a compare between this and the A plus BI, A plus BI, A حتكون 3 over 5, will be حتكون minus, so he's asking for a 3 over 5. And by saying this, we finished the complex numbers. Let's have a quick break. Let's take a 10-minute break and we're back. It's 6:45. I will do it till 55. Okay? Till 55, I will break. Let's start. Come on, guys. Samir, Osama, Tasneem, Radwa, Jana, Muhammad, Naya, Sana, Yahya. Triangles. Yeah, should I start? Everyone is here. Radwa, Jana, Muhammad, Naya, you with me or not? Sana, Yahya, ما خلصت؟
Yes, I'm here, sir.
يلا. Sana, Naya, Muhammad, Jana. Triangles, basically, I will try my best to explain everything in the triangle, all right? The triangle especially. Triangles, first of all, we have a triangles like somehow three sides, all right? Three sides, once you have a three sides, side number one, side number two, and side number three, all right? So that's, once you have a three sides, you have a triangle, and you have also three angles, A, B, C. This is what we call a triangle. So the angle A and the angle B and the angle C. The most important part in this triangle, the most important rule is the sum of the angles. Sum of the angles is, what is it? It's 180 degrees. All right, so this information, I guess you know it, but if you don't know it, you should know it, because the angle A plus angle B plus angle C is 180 degrees, right? This is something so important about the triangles. That's first. Second, that's a second information I'm going to talk about. We have something called the each angle opposite to a side. Obviously, each angle will opposite a side. For example, I'm going to say, listen, I'm going to say for this triangle that I have, the angle A, it's opposite to which side? The angle A, it's opposite to which side? I will say it's opposite to side BC. Opposite to BC. All right. When I'm talking about the side, I will do like a bar above the BC. All right. When I'm talking about the angle B is opposite to which one? The angle B is opposite to AC. Yes or not? The angle C is going to be opposite to what? The angle C, it's opposite to AB. So each angle opposite to a side and each side opposite to an angle. I can also use the opposite way, like the BC opposite to B and AB and opposite to C and all of this stuff. You know this information, like these are basics. First, it's the sum of the angles. Second is each angle opposite to a side and each side opposite to an angle. One more time. Once you have a triangle, all right? If you have a triangle ABC, right? We have something called the perimeter of a triangle. What is it? It's a perimeter. What is the perimeter of any shape, not only triangle, okay? But now I'm talking about triangle, but any shape. So the perimeter of a triangle or any shape, it is basically is the sum of its sides. Yani, in other words, I'm going to add the sides AB plus the side BC plus the side AC. All right? So the triangle, it is going to be, the perimeter of a triangle is going to be what? It is going to be sum of its sides. Okay? This is what we call the perimeter. Don't forget. If I have another triangle, now I'm going to talk about a concept called the area of a triangle. Area of triangle. Right? The area of a triangle. What is the area of a triangle normally, usually? What I'm going to say that the area, it is going to equals to 1/2, all right, the area of the base times height. All right, where is the base? Where is the height? The base basically it is this. This is the base, all right? For example, I can do this base. All right, if I'm gonna say that this is my base, where is gonna be my height? The height is gonna be this one, all right? Oh, not this one for sure. The height is gonna be something like, let me try to do this. This is your height, okay? Somehow like that. So basically, that's your base, and that's your height. Height is going to make a 90 degrees, it's going to create a 90 degrees angle with your base. So once you have a height and you have a base, this is when you say that the area is going to equals 1/2 times base times height. This is the area of a triangle. This is what you say, the area of a triangle, that the normal triangle, okay? The normal triangle, like it's not a special triangle, it's not a right angle triangle or something. What if I have a right angle triangle? What if I have a right angle triangle? Like this, okay? Do you see this right angle triangle, this one? Listen, at the angle here is called OMG, oh my God, right? So let's say that this angle is OMG. What is the area of a triangle right now? The area of the right angle triangle. It's gonna be same thing, exactly same thing. I'm gonna say that the area will equals 1/2, but now we don't have a base, we don't have a height. We have, I'm gonna say that this is a OM, which is what we call in right angle triangle, we call this one as a leg number 1. And this is what we call the leg number 2. Leg number 2, all right? So have leg number 1 multiplied by leg number 2, all right? And by the way, if you have this one as a leg number 1 and leg number 2, I don't know if you know it, what we call the OG side. Do you know what we call the OG side?
Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse, exactly. بالعربي هو الوتر. But in English, it's called hypotenuse, all right? So leg number 1, leg number 2, this is the area of what? Of a right angle triangle. And this is the area of a normal triangle, which is 1/2 times base times height. Okay? Now, all I will try to talk about the formulas, all right? There is nothing I'm gonna do more, just formulas now. Okay, now let's first try to split the screen. I'm using this because this is like this application assists me with drawing. Right? It's gonna help me with drawing. Okay, now we will resume the concept with the triangle. Now I'm going to talk about the right angle triangle. Right? This is not the right angle triangle. Is it almost same as right angle triangles with different names? Yeah, somehow. Somehow this. Okay, so if I have a right angle triangle like this, A, B, C, we agree that this is a 90 degrees, okay, and this is we call it the hypotenuse, and this is what we call the leg number 1, and this is what we call the leg number 2. Now we have a theory. It's so important theory. It's called Pythagorean. Pythagorean theory. What it says Pythagorean, بالعربي هي Pythagoras, okay? Pythagorean. It's called, it says this, Pythagorean, he said this thing, which is, if you took the hypotenuse, and if you square it, you will get the square of this leg number 1 plus the square of the leg number 2. Okay? This is one of the most important theories. The Pythagorean theories is going to be, once you have the hypotenuse and you square the hypotenuse, it has to be equals to the first one square, the first leg square plus the second leg square. Okay? And the most common triangles is this. We have a common triangles. They are so important. This is what we call the common triplets. All right? We have a common triplet. Listen carefully. Now, once you have a triangle like this lovely triangle, all right, the common triplet, it's 3, 4, 5. 3, 4. Angle. Now, if you want, I can prove it to you. 3, 4, 5. They said that Pythagorean, if you take the hypotenuse, you square it, it has to equal to 3 square plus 4 square. 25 squared, it's 25. 5 squared is 25. 3 squared, it's a 9. 4 squared, it's a 16. 16 plus 9, is it 25? Yes, it is 25. So basically, this triplet, 3, 4, 5, is one of the most important. 3, 4, 12, لا ما في 3, 4, 12. 3, 4, 12. يا لطيف. شوي 3, 4, 12. All right. This is the most important one, all right, by the way. This is the most important one. Sometimes he will give it to you this. Sometimes he will give it to you this. A right angle triangle, listen carefully. And right angle triangle, and this is somehow, this is a, something like, let's say, this is 30. This is 24. How you calculate the third one? Like in 2 seconds, who knows what is the third one?
First square minus 24 square.
No, I don't want to apply the formula. I want to use the triplet.
$18 because it's the multiple of 3, 4, 5 triangles.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Muhammad. Yes, that's correct. Look, listen carefully. He said it's directly 18. Exactly, that's an 18. Why? Because the 30, it's a 5 times 6. The 24, it's what? 24. It's a 4 times 6. So then this is going to be 3 times 6. 3, 4, 5. I already have a 3, 4, 5. Okay, but now I don't have a 3, 4, 5. I have a 3, 4, 5, but they multiply the whole triangle by 6. Okay. One more question, and now you will try to find it so fast. Okay, you're gonna find it so fast. Which is, what if I have this is 90 degrees. If this one is gonna be 2, this is gonna be 1/2. What about the last one? Don't say it, please. If you know it, don't say it. Keep the others, or you can text me on a chat. The other thing about it. Again, I'm not looking for what? For Pythagorean. You can apply Pythagorean for easy and you can do your job. I want as fast as you can. Nice, nice, nice. Exactly, Jana, exactly, Radwan. Tasneem, nice. Muhammad, perfect. So basically, what are you saying? Most of you saying that the answer is 1.5. All right, obviously 1.5. Why? Because this 2.5, it's basically, I can't say, instead of 1.5, I can't say it, obviously, to say this is, what is going to be? This is going to be 5 divided by 2. This is going to be 4 divided by 2. So obviously, this is going to be 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5. Okay, these are the triplets. We have one more triplets, but it's not that common, but you have to know it. The second triplet is that so common. It's a 3, not 3, 5, 12, 13. If you want, I can prove it to you. 13 square has to equal to 12 square plus 5 square. 13 square is basically 169. 12 square is 144. 5 square is 25. 169, is it what? 169. 169, is it equals to 144 plus? Yes, it is going to be the same. So basically, yes, these triplets also 5, 12, 13. This is somehow common. All right. So 3, 4, 5 and 5, 12, 13. These are the most common ones. For now, until now, any problem? Okay, if not, If not, these what we call them a common triangle, common triplet, but we have a special now. We have a special right angle triangle. Can you mention what is the third one was? Yes, 5, 12, 13. That's not the third one. We don't have a third one. Okay, so now I have a special, something called the special right angle triangle, okay? We have something called the special right angle triangle. Special right angle triangle. What is the special right angle triangle? It is a triangle that satisfies this. No, I want a right angle triangle. Yeah. Okay, stay with me for a minute now, please. If I have a triangle ABC, and if you looked inside the sides, all right, if you looked inside the side, yeah, you can create as much as you want. All right, you can create as much as you want. All right, now this is a 90 degrees, okay? This is a 90 degrees. Why this triangle is a special? This triangle is going to be special if and only if that this angle is the 30 and this angle is the 60. Now you have to stay with me for this. This is so important, okay? Mostly 90% of your question is going to be on this question, on this type. Okay? 30, 60, and 90. This is what we call the special right angle triangle. I'm going to call it a 30, 60, 90. All right. This special right angle triangle, 30, 60, 90, is saying to you this. Whatever you have this side, all right, this is 30, look for the opposite side and say it's going to be a value x. All right? So the opposite side of the 30 is x. The opposite side of the 90 is going to be double of that x. So it's going to be 2x. The opposite side of this 60 is going to be square root of 3x. So these things you have to memorize. Save, memorize it, please. Okay? Again, 30, 60, 90. 30, 60, 90. Memorize it as this, all right? Take the 30, say that the opposite side of the 30 is x. The opposite side of the 60 is going to be root 3x. The opposite side of the 90 is going to be the double of it, which is 2x. Okay? How the question is going to be? The question is going to be like that. Example. Let's say I have a right angle triangle. I have a right angle triangle. That's a 90, right? I'm going to call this one as an OMG again, right? If he said that the angle O has a 30 degrees angle, the angle G obviously is going to be 60 degrees, all right? If the O is equals to 6, then OG equals to what? All right? Again, if OM is equals to 6, then OG is going to equals what? Now, when I'm looking for this triangle, I know it, I saw it, I know it that this is a special, all right? This is the type of 30. What is this? Stop doing this. All right, so this is the type of 30, 60, 90 degrees. 30, 60, 90 type, okay? 30, 60, 90. The information that he gave you, the root 6, it's basically, it's OM. So the OM, it's a 6, all right? Okay, because this is a right angle triangle and because this is a special, what are you going to say? 30, 60, 90. I memorized the formula. The opposite side of the 30 is x. The opposite side of a 60 is going to be root 3x. And the opposite side of the 90 is going to be 2x. So using the information that he already gave me, I'm going to say that the x is going to equals to what? I will say this equation, root 3x equals 6. I will solve it. I will divide by root 3. I will divide by root 3. I'm going to say that x is equals to 6 over root 3. And if you know how you simplify it, okay, you have to know it. This is something we learned from a square root, from a radical lesson. I'm going to multiply by root 3 up, root 3 down. It's going to be 6 root 3 over 3. And the answer is going to be 2 root 3. What is this? This is x. Okay, so I found the x. What he's asking for? He's asking for OG, all right? He's asking for OG. What is the value of OG, or what is OG? OG is basically 2x, okay? And the x, you already found it as 2 root 3. So OG is equal to 2x, which is equal to 2 times 2 root 3. And that's going to be 4 root 3 at a steam, not 12. If he's asking, for example, what is the GM or MG, which is basically the GM or MG is going to be x. So x, which is, I already found the x, which is 2 root 3. So GM I wish that I was clear. Was it clear? Was it clear, guys? One more time. What just happened? The thing that's happened is I saw that I have a special right angle triangle. Okay. After that, after you have a right angle triangle, a special right angle triangle, you apply the formula. The formula was 30, 60, 90. The opposite of 30 is is x. The opposite of 60 is root 2x, root 3x, sorry. And the opposite of 90 is 2x. I used what I know and I calculate what I need, and then this is it. I'm going to give it to you right now, an example, and everyone, please try to solve it.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
root 3x يعني x isn't تحت الجذر.
Out root 3 and x. Root 3 لحال والx outside, okay? But today I didn't like how, I didn't like Yahya and Naya and Fana and even Usama somehow. I don't like to have a session and you are muted, totally muted, and totally nothing. And please, next time, today I'm not going to say nothing, but please, next time, حاولوا تفتحوا الكاميرas. I don't like this. Please, يا جماعة. We still have some lessons. Let's finish them well. I'm going to give it to you some examples now. حد عنده هاي الفوبيا no, not phobia, I don't know what it's called. The line is not fitting exactly on the corner. شو اسمها؟ شو مسميها هي؟ مو فوبيا، ايش مسميها؟ شو الاسم يا جماعه، شو اسمها؟
OCD.
OCD انا مش عارف انه هو love of perfection. والله؟ طيب حدا عنده اياها؟ حدا بنزعج من هالموضوع؟ Not exactly. Because I used to have a student that he said, okay, Mr. please don't do that. It's killing me and all this stuff. Okay, whatever. Now try to solve this. I have a triangle. I'm going to have a triangle like that. Okay, this is a triangle that I have. I'm going to call it OMA. Okay, OMA. This is a 90 degrees, and this is a 30 degrees, and that's a 60 degrees. Okay. If OA equals to 10, what is OM? ما شاء الله يا محمد. مثلا just open the chat and غلط أنا غلط يحيى. Yes, Muhammad, nice. Careful يا جنى. I'm not asking for an AM يا جنى. Yes, Radwa. Good. Correct. Nice. Okay, okay, no problem. تسليم, this is supposed to be root. هذا المنظر هذا اللي عملتيه.
Yeah.
supposed to be root يعني؟
Yeah.
ماشي صح.
Is
لا
it
غلط.
wrong?
Wait, which one inside, which one is فيها كتابة كبير مثلا 10 root 7.
Sorry, what?
Write it like written. See that 10 root 5, for example. Okay, this is it. Let me find it. The answer is going to be what he's saying. He's saying that the OM equals 10. Okay, first of all, before I start, I have to name the, or let's, this is a special. Because this is special, the opposite of 30. The opposite of 30 is going to be, غلط تصنيف. The opposite of 30 is x. The opposite of 60 is going to be x root 3. And the opposite of 90, it is going to be 2x. All right, now let's try to find out what information he gave you. He gave you OA, which is 10. OA, it's a 10. What is this? Alhamdulillah. Okay, so OA, it's a 10. Basically, I can have an equation somehow, like saying 2x equals 10. Then I will divide by 2. I will divide by 2. It's easy to say x equals 5. What is asking for OM? And OM has a formula as x root 3. So I will say it's going to be 5 root 3. And basically, this is it. Okay, it's a 5 root 3. مش 3 root 5, 5 root 3. Okay. All right. So this is the first type of a special right angle triangle. We have a second type, right? So the second type of a special right angle triangle, the second type is this. Once you have a special right angle triangle, at the same time, isosceles triangle, okay? Like this, the 90, and this is a 45, and this is a 45, right? So this is what we called it, a 45, 45, 90. 45, 45, 90. The first one was 30, 60, 90. The second one is 45, 45, 90. Okay, so this type we called it 45, 45, and 90. All right, 45, 45, 90. Basically, you say this. The opposite side of 45, it is going to be x. The opposite side of 45 is going to be the same x. The opposite side of a 90, it is going to be root 2x. Memorize it, please. Okay, don't forget it. The opposite side of 45 is x, and x, and x root 2. Allah. The application is closed. And all of the job is gone. طبعا إن شاء الله لا. أتوقع لا. Because it's online. So. Online. I know the laptops are crazy, so that's why I'm using online every time. Okay, so 45, I'm gonna do it as that's not going to be true. Yeah. So the 45 is x, the 45 also it's x, and the 90 it is gonna be root 2x. Okay. Question is gonna be how? Question is gonna be the same. I will give it to example about it. Okay. Question is gonna be exactly the same. No difference. You will give it to something like this, okay, and triangle ABC. Triangle ABC. This is a 90, this is a 45. So obviously the third one is going to be a 45. Okay. And he's going to say if AB is equals to 10, what is the AC equals what? Right? So I found this. Yes, yes, sure. I found this. The AB is 10, right? So the 45, 45, 90, that's the rule. Okay, this is X. This is X. And that's what? That's it, root 2x. I know that the X is 10, so the root of X is going to be 10 root 2. Shukran, afwan, bye-bye. Okay. That's how question is going to be. Let's find some more. Let's find some more practice or some more notes. I'm going to talk about now some notes. Note number 1. Note number 1 is something called on a special right or on triangles. If I have a triangle and if I have a right angle triangle, okay, stay with me for this. This is so important. This is the height. If we say that this is H, that's an A, that's a B, and the whole side here is a C. So I can say this. I can say that A multiplied by B, it has to equals to C multiplied by H. Right? Again, A, this A multiplied by this B has to equals to this C multiplied by this H. That's the first note. Note number 1. Note number 2 is this. Again, if you have a right angle triangle, and you have a height, so I'm for sure that the right angle triangle is here, okay? The right angle triangle is here, the right angle. All right, so this is H. Now, this part is, I'm going to call it M. This part, I'm going to call it N. Then the rule, it says H squared equals M multiplied by N. Memorize this formula, okay? Memorize this too. Okay, these are, we call them the properties of a right angle triangle, which is the height multiplied by the hypotenuse is equals to the legs multiplied together. And here, the height squared is equals to the first part multiplied by the second part, okay? The first part multiplied by the second part. But you have to make sure that this is a right angle triangle, okay? This is the right angle. Make sure this is a right angle. And basically, somehow for today, this is it, okay? I'm not going to give you more. Please try to study the rules, try to memorize them. Inshallah, next time, okay, on Wednesday, I will resume the triangles and I will start with the circles and we will solve some questions about them, okay? This is it for today. Thank you so much. If you have questions, you can ask me always. Bye.